Hello, everybody. Let me get my headset on. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ready to Roll. Thank you for bearing with us through the holiday season and our various hiatuses as, various things went on. We're back, and with the intent of continuing to, hopefully be back. In that line of announcements, however, the only day in the foreseeable future that we will not be having a Ready to Roll session that we normally would will be the 24th of February, because I will be in Genghis Con, which is a gaming convention, with the gaming convention in which you can play RPGs, other kinds of games. So I'll be in Genghis Con. That's in Colorado. I'll be there. If any of our viewers are also there, you are welcome to shoot me a message, say, hey, hi, I would like to see you, and we can, I'd definitely be happy to meet you. Just be aware that I am much more shy in person than I am in, on stream. Sarah will also be there, though. The amount that I will get to see Sarah is not as much as, we did have the intention to, go together and, so my two brothers, and then Sarah and her husband are all going, and we wanted to play a bunch of games together, but the buying of the tickets for games was kind of a mess the night, so we didn't get to line up with as many games together as we would like. But thank you, Every Max, for popping by. But yeah, so we'll be in Genghis Con. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. Yay, D&D night. With that, we're just gonna hop in and go along. Lydia has our recap tonight.
Yes, I do. There was a lot of wrapping up of stuff last time. We finally got to go to the wedding of Anya and Arkady after literal real world months. I'm not sure if in-game months.
Definitely not in-game months.
It was a very long time. And thankfully, the Archmatriarch did not die. We managed to stop all of that with the left and right hand so that the staff did not kill her upon touching it. And mostly we were hanging out in the party after. And two most notable things that happened was that Galena's mom showed up and wanted to take her back. And we said, no, don't do that. Galena wanted us to run away and escape and hide. And we said no to that as well. It's we're going to live our own lives. Somehow the party did not go with Galena when she told her mom to back off. But Galena handled it beautifully all on her own. And her mom backed off, for now at least. With threats that obviously we're going to let Galena down and not be there for her, and Mother will be later down the road. And the other major thing that happened was that Piotr got arrested and put onto a prison ship. Will be sent to Vinhelm to be tried for murder and probably executed. And so the rest of us are going with him as his defense and friends and character witnesses. So hopefully he will not be executed, or if he does, then we'll be there to hold his hand while that happens.
Just holding his hand as he sits on the chopping block.
It's
gonna be okay.
It's like the start of Skyrim, except that there's, a party of people.
Wait, finally awake.
But, man, you took my opening line, Ian. You'll see in a second. But, anyway, yeah, that's where we're at. So you're all on the prison ship. To clarify some confusion that I do see in the chat, Corvit's sister's name is Anya. And Jelania goes by Anya for short. That's to help.
The fake name.
The fake name that she gave you all at the very beginning of the campaign. But
very different from my actual name.
Yep, very, very different than Jelania. But so, Piotr, I was trying to remember the character name. I was like, I don't remember Ian's character's name. Piotr was put in a cell, and Jelania, Corvette, and Galena were all given their own kind of rooms, to be in. They're not obviously as opulent or fancy as the rooms they had on the Seahawk were, but they are their own rooms. And I don't know if we did do, I don't remember, because another important thing that happened was that the curse that Galena and Piotr shared was broken. So Piotr no longer has to be within sight of Galena. The one good thing that Galena's mother did was provide that information. Was provide that those resources to break the curse. So I was gonna pick up with Piotr, but I no longer have his face. So we're gonna pick up with the other three, who are going to be in their rooms.
On my back, I think.
We don't see your face, so
yeah, not quite. Mess around with it for a little bit, and we will start with the other three. Jelania. Oh, other important thing. Jelania kind of, broke it off with her boyfriend Antivin, and may or may not be, yet to be seen, picking up a romantic relationship with Corvette.
He made the first move.
He did make the first move.
It was not me.
We will see if Jelania chooses to continue to reciprocate. So we will see. But, all right. Ian is back, so we'll start with Ian like we had planned. So Ian, you're in your cell. So Piotr, you're in your cell. And as you roll over, your cell is just kind of like this bed of straw. And you have like a tin cup that's full of water. There's a plate that has some crumbs on it that you are hoping will be filled with food at a later point. But as you roll over, you're very sore. But at the same time, it's one of the best nights of sleep you've gotten in a long time because it wasn't filled with dreams of pushing someone off a ledge. As you roll over, you hear someone say, as Ian spoiled my punchline earlier, "Hey, you! You're finally awake."
Who do I see?
You look up and you see another prisoner in one of the other prison cells. In one of the other cells, he's just kind of leaned against the the wooden wall. That is, each cell has like one wooden wall. The rest of it are just kind of small bars. He's leaning against that, and so you see him. He's just looking at you. He's very gross looking old man, very long scraggly hair and beard. Looks like he probably hasn't bathed in a long time. He's just sitting there looking at you. Says, "So, what are you in for?"
Standard fare, murder. Basically that.
Murder.
You come here often?
I used to be the leader of a bandit gang that operated outside of. We started operating outside of Vinhelm. When that became too dangerous, we moved up here to Ostrava. But the Boyar of Vinhelm, due to my numerous crimes back in Vinhelm, managed to convince the Tsar to send me with him when he left. I've been in this brig for... Looks at the wall and you see he has a bunch of scratches on it. I think 10 days? I don't know. You don't see the sun here. You don't know. You keep track of days by the time they bring me meals, but they're supposed to bring us 2 meals a day. Sometimes I get 1. Sometimes I get 3 because they forget. Or maybe I'm just miscounting the hours. But I think it's been 10 days. I don't know.
Thank you for the auspicious forecast for the rest of my time here.
But you look like a fancy pants. Who'd you kill?
A co-worker, we'll say.
What's a co-worker?
A co-worker is someone that you work with regularly.
See, I ain't never done a hard, honest day's work in my life. Or so the law would tell you. But I think banditing is very hard, honest work.
Well, I mean, you must have had somebody that went out with you on a lot of brigandry.
Sure, but I'm the one in charge. They all work for me.
Oh. So you've never taken orders for work?
I mean, I did when I was started out. You have to work your way up in the bandit clan. But
most lines of work.
And, after I killed my boss, I took over.
So, this is fascinating. What does working your way up the ladder entail in your, shall we call it, industry?
Oh, like I just said, you kill the person above you and you take their spot.
Oh, I must have blacked out or something. I don't recall that.
I mean, you fancy pants don't ever listen to us us lowly people. You think that you're, too good for us and our concerns.
Well, I wouldn't, put so much stock in that idea, friend. We're both in the same brig. On the same ship.
I mean, I'm assuming you killed someone very important if you're in the brig. This co-worker.
Crap, why am I blanking on who? I mean, I know who she is. You could say that in a manner of speaking. She has...
Must have been very important to the boyar if he's putting a fancy pants like you in a cell.
We both worked for him.
Oh, you worked for him. Well, hello, Mr. High and Mighty.
Like I said, we're in the same brig, the same ship.
It's true.
Not so...
I didn't do a lot of listening in church. But the little listening I did in church, they said, did not matter where we started, we would all end up the same. Ash and dust. I
didn't know
believe
cremation was part of the deal. Maybe I...
Yeah, cremation is the ceremonial, everyone gets cremated. Very few people actually get buried. Only, like, the most important people get buried. Cremation is considered the important rite. The actual rite, because light and fire is a huge thing for Sapana. So, cremation is the standard. It's only if you're uber important that you don't get cremated. There's also the whole fact that there's giant undead curse that goes around fairly frequently, and so they don't want you getting brought back.
I feel like I've had this explanation at least once.
Yep, you have.
Yes. We all end up burnt in a crisp.
Dust and ash.
Tell me, friend, I don't know about you, but thoughts of being burnt don't serve me well. Where do you hail from?
I hail from a small village outside of Vinhelm. I hail from Kozlostar.
Ah, yes. Kozlostar. Wonderful bread.
Yes, very wonderful bread. It's the special wheat they grow. But there was a plague a few years back that ruined all the crops. So that's what caused me to take up banditry. So... I haven't caught your name, friend. What is it?
I'm Piotr. What was yours?
My name is Rylan. Rylan.
Pleasure to meet you, Rylan.
Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you too, Piotr. Now, sorry, I just haven't had very many people to talk with. He points over. Those folks stopped talking a few days ago.
What do they look like?
You look over, and they're very clearly dead.
I was like, am I about to look at dead people?
They are very clearly dead. Just sitting and nothing. You know, they're not moving. They are, based upon the flies buzzing around them, they are very clearly dead.
Were they just allowed to die there?
They, they committed very lesser crimes. The Boyar's mostly big about prosecuting the big ones, which is murder or being a bandit chief. So
the big ones get to survive. You steal a soda bread and you die in the brig.
Pretty much. It's actually what that fellow did. He stole some soda bread.
Well, I don't really know how to process that information. It's an interesting experience to be on this side of the law.
You'll at least live long enough to see the axe come, or feel the axe come into your spine.
Good to know.
If you've really wronged the Boyar, he'll keep you alive long enough to make sure that you see punishment.
Fascinating.
Quite. So what did you do? And he seems to notice the magical manacles around your wrists for the first time, and he points. Fancy pants that knows magic too, huh?
Yeah. Well, yes. No. Yes. Yes. No. K-N-O-W. I know magic. These manacles make that aspect of my abilities a bit useless, but nothing super fancy. I mostly just sing funny songs and taunt people.
Well,
encourage people. Magically, of course. As they do.
Maybe you could sing a funny song now?
Survey says Ian's funny creative juices are recharging. Oh, maybe later, friend. I'll write something down for you.
See that he looks down, kind of very, dejected and sad. So when you start, then you hear a door open nearby, and you hear some footsteps start marching down the stairs. A guard comes in and pounds on your cell. Says, hand us the old plate. We'll hand you your new one.
Do I have a plate?
Yes.
In here?
Yes, I did tell you that. Mm-hmm. You have a plate in there with a few crumbs on it.
Here you go, sir.
Yeah, he takes it and he hands you back just some bread and cheese. Nothing overly crazy or fancy. He does the same with the other guy, and they all, they go down the cell block before heading back upstairs. And the other guy sits there and just starts devouring ravenously his bread and cheese. And he goes over and he puts another scratch on his wall. It's 11 days now, I think.
Do you ever ask them how many days it's been or what day it is?
You're not very talkative. Alright. So before we continue with your riveting conversation with the other guy down there, the three of you, it's now morning time after you've slept in your various places, your rooms. What do the three of you have gained, desires to do in this at this time, if anything?
So we're not. Wait, are we on the prison ship?
Yes, you are on the prison ship.
Oh, that's what I was wondering. I couldn't remember that part.
Okay. We're not on the Seahawk.
Yes, you are not on the Seahawk. You are on the prison ship.
So we don't have our favorite captain around. Okay. I don't know if there's anything. I mean, if they will let me, I'll go like check in on Piotr and make sure he's like alive.
Yeah, so when you go down to check on Piotr, and one of the guards stops you as you approach and says, "Halt. What's your name? Business here?"
Zelenia Rosislavovna Katenka, I'm here to see one of my friends, one of these people I'm going to advocate for in the future. Please let me. Just move, please.
He lets out a sign. Very well. Says you have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Why limited time?
Can't have you sitting in, no. Can't have you sitting and talking with the prisoners too much. They're dangerous.
Uh-huh. So dangerous. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Keep
Yes.
me so safe from these dangerous criminals locked behind bars?
Take you 5 minutes before, it's rules, alright? Just
Alright. I'll go by. I'll go find Piotr.
you walk inside. And, it doesn't take very long to find Piotr, since it was pretty late last night. They just shoved him in the first empty one that they could confirm was empty in the darkness. And so he's near the entrance, and you walk and you see that he's engaged in his riveting conversation with the grizzly, unkempt man next door.
This seems like a wonderful place to hang out.
Oh, Anya, this is my friend whose name Ian has forgot. What's his name again?
Rylan.
This is my friend Rylan.
What are you doing?
This is my friend Anya. What?
What are you doing?
Exchanging pleasantries. What are you doing?
The horns? She's got the horns. She's a demon. He can steal your soul just by talking.
Oh.
It's already too late for you. You talk very loudly, so your soul is already mine.
No, I don't acknowledge that you're there. If I don't acknowledge you, you can't steal my soul.
Rylan, I don't, from personal experience, I don't know how much merit there is to your fear.
It's the demon. She's got the horns.
Oh no, those are just for opening bottles.
I'm gonna use disguise self to just remove the horns. Like everything else is the same. Teeth, like fangs, tail, everything, eyes, just no horns. And I'm just gonna come right up against the bars next to him. You were saying?
Oh, she's an elf. The pointed ears gave her away.
With the gray skin. You've seen elves with the gray skin and the red eyes?
I've never seen an elf in my life, ma'am.
Well, good. Yes, I am an elf. Anyway, I just immediately walk off. You okay?
I mean, day one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm as okay as a condemned man could be.
That's more what I mean.
Mm.
We've had to go through some things before that were not very comfortable or nice. I know you can handle that. The idea that you may be walking to an execution may be a different story.
Mm. I don't know.
You did choose this.
I did. It's kind of like... Nope, never mind. I won't use that analogy. That's too modern. I don't know. It's like when you're starving and you know you have to eat, I don't know, cheese. I don't know. I like cheese. Never mind. That's not a good analogy. Anyway, I know it's what I need to do, but all of my instincts say I'm making a bad choice, and then sometimes I just kind of forget about it, and then I remember, and I forget about it again. I don't know. It's kind of a confusing state of mind.
So as far as I understand, Corvette is going to try and get you off, get you out, defend you so that you will be acquitted so you can live your life again. Is that what you want?
Part of me, I mean, look, I don't think anyone wants to die or rot in a prison cell, but a large portion of the reason that I'm here is because I need to do something to atone for what I don't.
And you're okay with that being your death?
Am I to keep living the way I was with nightmares, knowing that I have taken the life of someone else and continue to live
Peter,
undisturbed?
I am going to probably be on your defense team or whatever it is we call it. I need to know if you want me to try.
I don't.
Do you want me to just say, yeah, he guilty, cut off his head? Or do you want me to actually try to get you acquitted? Do you want me to break you out of prison? You need to make this decision sooner rather than later, because when you wait till too late, you'll be dead. And I can't do anything about that. I'm not Artyom.
If I'm being fully honest, at this point, I think I need to accept the weight of the weight of the just consequences for what I've done.
So you're going to die. This is what you've chosen.
Don't see. I mean, I guess put it this way: if somebody had done what I did to someone you loved, what would you want that person to do? Would you want the system to let them off easy? Would you want them to slip through some legal crack? Would that be just?
Don't much care about. And kind of look back and forth to see if there's people around listening. Are there?
I mean, there's Rylan, who's trying very hard to look like he's not listening, but very clearly listening.
I just kind of like stare at him for a minute, decide if I care or not. I don't care. I don't much care what the exercises of the church are in terms of justice. For me, I have learned now that it was by the hand of my brother, through my sister, that my father and my other brother were murdered. People that I cared about very much, killed by other people that I care for very much. I'm not trying to put my brother in prison for something he could not control, something he did not decide to do, that resulted in the death of people I care about. Because I know he did not mean to do that, and I know that he is much better served, and we are all much better served for him being out about and himself. I don't care whether or not the church says one thing or the other, or the law says one thing or the other for him.
But, okay, we can forget about the law or what the church says, but I think my situation, my level of culpability is a bit different than your brother's. I don't know.
Will the world be better off with you dead? I don't think so. But that's not up to me to decide. That's up to you to decide. But in case you decide later, I'm gonna try and slip him my potion of climbing that I have.
Alright, give me a sleight of hand check.
Spider climb.
Oh no. Do I have dice? Oh.
Playing D&D, you better have dice.
I've moved in the last
Speaking of
couple
which,
15. So with my sleight of hand, that's a 22.
Alright. You definitely slip him the potion. Whether or not it gets seen, can't be certain at this moment.
uh-oh.
Stick it somewhere where the sun don't shine if you need it later.
And so now I'm going to need a sleight of hand check from you, Ian, and how successfully you get this and then hide it.
Oh, hey, look, a D20. Is that a D20? Yes, it is. Hold on, I'm checking.
Please roll so good. I want to get like 3 magic items, please.
Oh, yeah. 14.
Okay.
Just
All
in
right.
case your waffling continues right up until the moment. At least you'll have something in your corner. Please keep us informed of what we need to do. I don't want to lose you, but I will not go over your head to do that.
I appreciate that. Yep.
Okay, it's probably been about 5 minutes. I don't want these stupid guards to come and bother me, so... Don't starve, okay?
Don't get seasick.
Too late. And I leave. So yeah, as a reminder, Anya don't like the water, so she stays as far away from the side of the ship and any windows as possible.
So you head out and make your way to, you head out and go upstairs. Galena, is there anything that you want to be doing right now?
First, she would have eaten whatever breakfast was provided because breakfast is important.
Very meager
And
breakfast. It is slightly better than the prisoners. You at least have some bacon to go along with your bread and cheese.
Yum. She shares some bread with Blue Chick because while she's on the ship, she's going to keep him really close to her instead of letting him wander wherever he wants like normal.
Makes sense.
And
This is
then
not as friendly of a ship.
Yeah. And then she's going to wander wherever she feels like on the ship unless they tell her she can't go somewhere. She's just going to wander everywhere.
You surprisingly have like mostly free reign of the ship. The only places that people like stop you are at, the prison. A guard stops you and gives you pretty much the same spiel as, Jelania if you decide that you want to go visit Piotr, but you might be sick of him with how much time you spent with him in the past few weeks. And then the captain's quarters are kind of where they don't let you go. But otherwise, you can go pretty much anywhere you want. Surprisingly.
She could check on him later. She figures he hasn't been in there long enough for anything too bad to have happened yet, so...
That's fair. Okay. Corvette, you have anything that you want to do?
So Corvette, again, kind of wakes up, eats, does the same thing kind of Galena does, and he will, for a little bit, he'll be trying to write down what he remembers from like his law studies, because that was one thing he definitely was not paying attention to growing up as much. So he's like, how the heck am I in this spot now?
Yeah.
And so he's kind of in his room just with like papers spread out, trying to like write down thoughts or ideas. So he's just like trying to remember anything that could help him and Piotr. Like his goal right now is to help him just avoid the death sentence. And so he's like, let's start there.
All right. So give me a history and a religion check. Because Mordvirian law, since it's the holy empire of Mordvirian law is, a mixture of the, religious texts plus what, the laws of the land, the temporal laws.
Oh, so bad on both. A 9 and an 8.
Well,
that's with +5 on both. Gosh dang it,
yeah. The church, the scriptural texts in the church are very clear when it comes to murder, or that a life must be repaid by another life. Meaning, and that has spread to, that just is pretty standard across the entire empire at this point. It's that the death penalty, that murder and, taking a life is usually met with, the death penalty. The other thing that you kind of recall, but you don't recall exactly how Vinhelm does it, is that every region handles the proceedings of a trial differently.
Oh, no.
So the Southern Isles, where you grew up, which you're kind of familiar with, however, it doesn't handle it the exact same way that Vinhelm will handle it. The only thing that's standard across all legal proceedings in the entire empire is that each side has what they call an arbiter, and that arbiter represents their side. So that the Boyar of Vinhelm will have an arbiter, and that could even be himself. He could choose to be his own arbiter, but that you are acting as the arbiter for Piotr. So you are in charge of defending Piotr. You just don't know if that means a jury will be involved, if the one who makes the ultimate decision is the Boyar of Vinhelm, if the church, there are even some regions where the local priest gets to make the final decision. You aren't certain who is going to be the ultimate judge, jury, and executioner in this case. You just know that your job is going to be to defend Piotr and hopefully prevent him from dying. So.
Oh goody. This is... As I recall all of this, and write this down, Corbett, I just start getting really antsy and nervous, realizing like, oh, I know much less about this than I should. And so, needing some fresh air, he'll go outside and kind of take a walk around. And unlike Jelani, he actually really likes the ocean, growing up. In the Southern Isles, he loves, being on a boat and a ship. So he'll actually be out just like kind of leaning against the railing and just watching the ocean for a little bit.
It's really foggy today. Give me a notice roll. Sorry, a perception check.
Notice roll.
Wrong system.
Wrong system.
A Trayer of 5e.
12.
12. All right, your perception check is a 12.
Average.
Okay, yeah, it's foggy. You see some shapes in the fog, but you can't tell if maybe they're rocks, islands, whales, mimic ships, or anything. But you see...
Does that thought pop in my head? Ghost ship?
Yeah, ghost ship pops in your head for you because you still don't believe it's a mimic ship. But which, for remembering that, I'm going to give you inspiration. So
sweet.
But yeah, so that's what you have. So like you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. It's foggy. You are farther north than the Southern Isles, so fog is more common. here, but you do find it peaceful and relaxing. However, it reminds you of home, and it can't help but and you, despite the dire circumstances you're in, you can't help but smile as you picture your best, as you remember your best friend and your little sister have just gotten married. And you remember the events of the reception and the party up until Piotr decided to turn himself in. So.
Well, not all things are awful, just a lot of things. Thinking about all that actually happened, he wants to go and find Galina, see if she can check in with her real quick. He knows he's gonna go talk to Piotr about his defense and all soon, but he's got to work things out first with that.
So you do it takes you a little, but you do find Galina. Galina, you find poking her head into the cargo bay, near the cargo area. She's kind of like looking around at the various cargo boxes that are around, which you're guessing, this isn't a cargo ship, so most of the cargo space you're guessing is used for holding the supplies for the people on it and the prisoners. So yeah, that's where you find her, is poking around, and Luchik is sitting there and lifted up one of the boxes with his tiny little arms, and you watch Luchik reach in and pull out a nut and then start munching on the little walnut that he managed to find inside.
Wow, that little chipmunk there must be like super buff.
Squirrel.
Sorry, they're just.
And yes, he's very strong. For a squirrel.
I just imagine he lifted the top of a box just open by himself. I'm like,
it's not a very big box. It's like this big, but
still,
walnuts are considered a delicacy in Mordor, because they don't actually grow. The only place they grow in Mordor is actually the Southern Isles. But
so I'm used to them. So, very nice. So, Galina, what are you up to? What are you doing here?
Looking around.
That's why
I've been looking over
the
whole ship. They don't like it when you call it a boat.
Yeah, they like their proper terminology, I guess.
Oh, and you would be very offended if she called this a boat. This is a ship. You grew up around enough boats and ships that this is a ship, not a boat.
It's a ship. It's not a little dinky boat thing.
Now, would you be able to explain the difference to anyone else? No, but you know that this is a ship, not a boat.
Good to know. So, Galina, how are you doing? How, your world kind of got thrown upside down yesterday, I'm sure?
Well, yes. I wasn't expecting is the wrong word. I was hoping Mother wouldn't find me that quickly.
And so why does she follow you so much so far? Why does she want you back so badly?
Oh, she said I could finally help. She's never let me help with her big project.
Project? Like, what kind of projects?
It's the one that she was working on before my father was murdered. They were both working on it.
Oh. I'm so sorry about that. I guess that'd be important. Do you know what it is?
No, she decided that I wasn't ready to know yet.
And how long was it going to take for you to be ready?
She's never given me an exact time frame, which is why I was very surprised when she said that I should come back with her because I was finally ready. And I had to tell her that I couldn't come.
Do you regret that?
There are 2 reasons why I left the tower we live in. One of them was so that I could come out here and learn more spells and become more experienced so that she would finally believe that I was ready to help her. And she finally came and said I was ready, and I had to tell her I couldn't come. And I've
So
waited 200 years for her to come tell me that I could help her instead of studying.
Again, that just blows my mind. I always forget how much experience of life you've had.
Books. I have experience of books.
Fair. But that must have been hard to say no to the thing you've wanted to for so long.
Yes. But I think if the Dark Priestess really is the one that orchestrated my father's murder, just so that I would be prepared to be the perfect tool for her to use for all of this, if I decided to go ahead and follow Mother back to the tower, who's to say that she wouldn't just have Mother killed too?
So you're doing this to also protect your mother.
Yes. And also, we have another sacrifice to stop, and you have told me and the others that you failed to stop the other sacrifices, so I'm not sure I have the biggest confidence in your ability to stop them without me.
Ooh, that's a gut punch. Yeah.
Ouch.
That is a wound that will never fully heal.
Really? Where? How did you get it?
It's emotional.
Is it magical?
Oh, emotions.
observe it?
Okay.
Yes, emotions. Though that stung to hear, I am grateful. I'm glad that you're still here with us. Still around, and hey, this time we protect the Archmatriarch. And you were a huge part in that, so maybe you are good luck.
Yes, I was actually a little bit surprised that we were successful there.
I'm very relieved that we were, so. Well,
Was there a reason you were wandering around down here?
I was looking for you. I almost wandered the whole ship because I was wondering where you went, so.
I've almost wandered the whole ship too at this point.
Where else do we need to go explore to finish this up?
They won't let us in the captain's quarters.
I don't want to try today.
Sounds suspicious.
And I've decided to visit Piotr later.
Yeah, I need to go. I need to visit him too to figure out his defense and try. Galina, you said you've read lots and lots of books, right?
Yes, many, many books.
Hey, what can you tell me about laws and how it's like trials are ran in Vinhelm?
You can give me a history check with disadvantage if you would like, Alina. Most of the books
It's
you've
probably
read
better than
are
mine
magical.
still.
Well, I'm pretty good at history. I get a +8.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of books. Disadvantage means I roll twice and take the lowest, right?
Yep.
$21.
Jiminy Christmas. All right.
Take that, Patrick.
My
Somehow,
one good roll of the night.
somehow your mother just happened to have gotten you a modern legal book. It would just happen to be like mixed in with some of like the magic books she had gotten for you to study, and you read it because it was breaking the monotony of reading about abjuration for the 700th time. So you read it. Vinhelm usually defers, so Vinhelm has its two arbiters who are always temporal. An arbiter is not allowed to be a member of the priesthood in any way. And usually an arbiter has to be a noble of some sort. And however, the judge ultimately is, usually is a priest, dependent upon the rank that is being dealt with. If it's a commoner, it would probably just be the local bishop. If it's, but for nobility of the rank of the boyar, your guess is that it would be the patriarch of Vinhelm who would be acting as the ultimate judge in this case.
Remind me again Corvette. Who did he kill again? She was the daughter of someone important, right?
Yes.
The fiancé.
The fiancé of, the boyar's son? Something like that? But she is the daughter of someone important because of that. Because they would marry high nobility or someone important.
Do you think it's a conflict of interest if the boyar is then the judge? Or do you think they're still going to let him be the judge?
Boyar isn't going to be the judge. The patriarch would be the judge.
Ah.
The boyar would be the arbiter, which means he would be arguing against, against Piotr. But
how good of friends is the boyar with the patriarch?
you give me a religion check. See if you recall that.
If I can recall the patriarch and.
Oh, you definitely know the patriarch's name. You just don't know how the patriarch feels about the boyar or the boyar or the patriarch.
I'm about to screw over this whole trial. I got a nat 1.
Oh, you got a nat 1. Yeah, so the patriarch's name is Pavel Nikolaev. They don't like each other, is what you believe. They despise each other. Absolutely despise each other.
Hate each other. I'm sure of it. A new dice, guys.
I'm sure his name is also
rolled.
Pavel Nikolaev, for sure. For sure. It's not some other random name.
No, the name is right. Just the fact, he's convinced that they don't like each other.
Nikolai.
With friends like these, who needs suicidal tendencies?
Wow! Jiminy Christmas.
Or a lack of self-preservation instincts.
I'm still gonna try. Well, I think they hate each other, actually. So, this, we could use that. Put that to, the disharmony there. Use that, cultivate that. I think.
So, do you believe that Pyotr's innocent?
Of what he did?
Yes.
Of what he did. He's admitted it. And so, I think he's done what he's done.
But you still believe that you should argue that he shouldn't pay the price for that?
I don't think he should be killed for it. I don't want to see my friend die.
You think it would be better if he spent the rest of his life in a prison cell?
No. No, I don't think that's better. It's not worse than death. But I just think this is where I'm at. I've seen what he's done. He's been with us through so much, and he's really, he intends well all the time. He's not someone who wants to do evil. And so I think he can be doing good, making up for what he's done. think there's something I don't know what, but some way if you just end his life, that's it. But there's things he can do. There's more that he could do to give back. And he'll never be able to fix it. But he can always be striving to better others' lives or make up for it. I don't know.
Interesting. I just asked because I don't know either. I was willing to not turn him in, but now that he's been caught, he's also not innocent.
Yeah.
He wasn't innocent before he got caught. It's not like getting caught made him guilty.
Like, that convinced me.
It's more the
Lena
fact
has
that
her
we're
own
facing
logic
it
if
now.
matters.
A non-criminal would have been smarter.
So, yeah. So, as long as you don't get caught, you're fine, right?
Oh, I was going to turn him in eventually. I was going to wait until after we saved the world.
Oh, okay. Why were you going to turn him in?
He murdered somebody. You do realize you're talking to the daughter of a man who was murdered.
Yes. Yes, I do. I'm sorry. So
But
what
like
would...
you said, there is good that he could do. Even if that's just keeping somebody else from being pulled into this whole "you're a descendant of Morpheus, so I ruined your life so you could be useful to me" thing. So
Well,
I was
haven't
going to
thought
let
of
him
that part, but yes, that's a good reason to keep him alive.
I was going to let him do whatever good he could while I kept an eye on him and hopefully kept him from getting drunk and murdering somebody else. But then, yes, I do believe he should pay for what he did, so then I was going to turn him in if he lived that long.
Okay. Well, do you want to see him pay the death sentence too?
Do I have to watch if that's what he ends up getting?
I don't know. How would you punish the situation?
That's not up to me. I don't make the laws.
Fair enough.
I guess I'll ask him. If that's what they decide to do, I'll ask him whether he would feel better if I'm there or not.
That's not what I meant. Okay. Thank you for your insights, though. This is really helpful, and thank you. We'll figure something out. So, I look at Glenn and trying to be like, well, let's finish our tour of the ship, and I gotta get back to work, I guess.
Okay, do you want to see what's in the rest of these boxes? We know that one has nuts.
The rest of the boxes are filled with just mundane food. There is some, food. There, other supplies that you need for a ship. Nothing crazy, overly exciting. How that you can find unless you give me an investigation check.
I adore the fact that this prison ship is just letting us wander around and open boxes.
Did you say roll an investigation?
I did say roll an investigation check.
Where's that?
Do it now.
Oh my goodness! I got a freaking nat one again.
12.
Just for that, you starve.
I probably will.
You got that one. All right. Find a flute. Suspiciously familiar. At least to you, it looks very suspiciously familiar. You could swear
Drith?
that this is the flute that Drith carved. You
Oh
are
my!
99% certain that this is the flute that Drith carved. Galena never met Drith, so Galena can't tell you otherwise. But you are pretty certain that Drith's flute ended up in the ship somehow.
I might. Is Drith here? How'd this get here? And I like start looking around, like, Drith? Like, I start looking at like all the guards differently, like, is this Drith? So, I do that for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, you don't find Drith, but
if there was anyone in the party who was going to end up on a prison ship for no reason, it would be Drith.
it would be Drith. Yeah, it would. All right. Okay. So after about 20 minutes, are you going to go visit Piotr at this point? Either of you, Galena or Corvette?
Yeah, I'll gather my stuff and go talk to him. I figured I should probably do it this day.
Are you going to let Galena come with you, or Galena, or do you want to go by yourself at a later point?
Unless he asked her to go, she's just gonna let him go by himself.
Okay. All right. Corvette, you make your way down, and the guard looks at you. State your name and business.
Corvette Peshek, here to talk to my client.
You're that poor sod's arbiter?
Hey, give me a break. I'm working on it, okay?
Oh no, he's as good as dead. Your Boyar's been looking. Boyar's been looking for that one for months at this point.
Yeah.
And he's had months to gather evidence. Just in trouble.
That's good to know. So, and I'm sure the death sentence is what he wants and stuff.
Oh, most assuredly.
What other options are there?
Do I look like a priest? What I know? My job is just to watch him until whatever's supposed to happen to them happens to him. Be it death, be it a fine.
Okay. Well, can I go in still?
Yeah. Just let us know when you're done.
I'll let you know. Thanks. I kind of gather my papers and shuffle on in there.
Alright, so you go in and you find Piotr and Rylan have started engaging in a game. You're not certain what the rules are. Piotr's not even really certain what the rules are. He just needed to do something to prevent himself from getting bored. It involves some stones that Rylan has. And, like, you're trying to end up with all the stones, but Piotr's not really sure how you're supposed to get the other person's stones. Sometimes Rylan just gives him a stone, and sometimes Rylan's like, oh, you need to give me 5 stones. Piotr's actually, like, 95% certain that Rylan's just making up rules at this point, because he's happy to have someone to talk to, but yeah, that's what they're doing currently.
Well, if you guys are trying to get stoned, I'm pretty sure this is not the way to do it. Well, Piotr, I find the cleanest spot on the ground.
Oh, it is disgusting.
Oh, I do not sit down.
There is a stool nearby.
I take a stool.
Yeah, the stool's also gross, but not as gross as the floor. You're fairly certain that these people don't have anywhere to actually go to the bathroom.
Oh, good.
It smells really bad.
Unfortunately, I sit on the stool and like, ugh.
You put one of your blank papers down on the stool and then sit on that.
Yes! Yes! Just put it down, like, I put like 2 or 3 because there's a paper, so I'm like, okay, there's a little layer there.
Yeah, those pieces of paper are now part of the stool. The stool's sticky.
Oh.
Wonderful. So, Piotr, how are you doing? You hanging in there?
I'm really bored.
I see.
I don't have.
Does this guy have horns too? His eyes are gold. Why are his eyes gold?
Do I hear that?
Oh yeah, he's definitely not very good at being quiet.
I cast minor illusion and make myself have horns.
Don't
I'm like,
look in his eyes, you'll steal your soul.
No, actually, this is another one that I've interacted with plenty. If my soul were gonna be stolen, it'd be gone by now. Maybe it is, actually.
It explains why you killed someone.
so you've been
Well, I
talking
didn't
here,
kill
Piotr,
someone.
huh? After like a few seconds, I dismiss the illusion.
Oh, he's not. He has closed his eyes and he's just going like this.
He's
It's not.
cowering in
He's
fear.
just in the corner. Is like, hey, you owe me a stone.
Piotr tosses a pebble his way.
All right, Piotr. We're here to talk about your defense.
What have you found? What have you thought up?
Just trying not to get you killed. And I've just found, honestly, it doesn't look good. The
Why do
laws
you
of
say
the
that?
land are, say, a life for a life, essentially. And I'm just trying to figure out a way to make it so instead of giving your life as in getting killed, as you give your life to something else. You help out or serve your community. I don't know. I was never good at law stuff.
Piotr, give me an intelligence check.
No. Wait, where's my
Just
dice?
flat intelligence.
Flat intelligence?
Hmm?
What's that mean?
It means just use your intelligence bonus, no proficiency bonus, anything like that.
Oh. Lower than it needs to be, I'll bet. Hold on, I'm adding my 12.
Okay. Keep going.
Dang it. Like,
Crap. I lost my train of thought. Wait, sorry. Can you repeat the last thing
He
you
was
said?
trying to find a way to kill you, to get you out without
Not-
you having to die.
I
Sorry.
was like, where in the
Yeah,
heck is
to
my
not
train
kill
of
you.
thought?
I'm just trying to get you off and away from the death sentence and execution and just, I don't know.
Well, I appreciate your efforts. Do you think I don't deserve to die?
I don't think you deserve to die, Piotr. I've seen what you've done. You've done so much to help people since we've met, and you don't intentionally try to harm or hurt people. You've protected cities and countless lives. We've saved refugees together or prisoners together. So, no, I don't think you deserve to be executed. Even though it's the law, it's just... This sucks. Just saying. It just sucks, so...
It's conflicting, I guess. I don't.
The best thoughts that I've had are just to explain to everyone what I've seen you do and how you've helped people and how we've helped protect countless lives from raiders, from monsters, and to, instead of killing you, put you to use in protecting others. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm just...
Well, Corbett, I've had a lot of time to consider what I've done,
Yeah.
and like I get that for you or for me, it's really easy to think of the other things I've done in life, but has not every murderer done good things in their life?
You're
Have
asking the
not
hard
many.
questions here. Why am I your freaking
I don't
arbiter?
know. I've had I've had weird brain. Anyway, my conscience has been at war with me for like a plot appropriate amount of months.
About 3 or 4 months at this point.
I was gonna say 3. Wow, look at that. Good job, Ian. I don't know. I just at the end of the day, Corbett, whatever I do, I want to be able to look in the mirror 2 years, 20 years, 20 days from now and feel comfortable in the knowledge that I have honored the memory of Katya in the way that I would want the life of someone that I held dear to be honored. And yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's a correct way to go about it that doesn't see justice delivered just as it would be for anyone else who had done what I've done. Am I wrong? I don't know.
You want me to tell you you're wrong? That was...
Consenting opinions are always welcome.
You mean dissenting?
I mean, dissenting. Yeah.
Piotr, I think what you said was right. You said you wanted to live in a way that respected her memory, or you wanted justice to be fulfilled to respect her memory, whatever. How do you want to respect Katya's memory?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is all complex. My feelings are complex. I don't know. I think justice needs to be served, but I don't know. Is my right to legal defense not part of that justice?
No, it is, so...
But what's that? I don't know. I guess on the one hand, that is an important part of the system that we live in. I wouldn't want to see that undermined, and certainly in a broad sense. But at the same time, I know what I've done, so I don't know. I don't know how to balance all of this. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I will do all I can to make sure. It sounds like you still not want to be executed, but still have justice fulfilled. What would you offer instead of execution? Patrick, is there anything I can think of that we could offer instead of execution?
If you'd roll better, yeah, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't think of anything.
I'm gonna message you.
Okay, message me.
I'm working on it. Where are you?
I'm in my room currently.
Shush, Patrick.
Ian just walks through the back door.
Wait. Oh, Anya?
No, I was gonna say you were gonna show up in Patrick's room right now.
Oh.
Whisper sweet nothings into his ear.
Sweet
Hey,
nothing.
Patrick. Hey, Patrick, look behind you.
Oh, hi, Ian.
Okay, I just messaged you. I'm trying not to be meta.
Yeah, you read about it a few weeks ago. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
That's what the, yeah, so... What the
I was like, I've known about these people for like...
That's what the intelligence check was for, to see if you would remember without me prompting, but since you do remember, go for it.
Oh. Take that, dice. There is one thing. Oh, crap. You know, I remember... Well, help me. Well, okay. I'm gonna say what I recall, and then you can fill in. There is maybe one thing. There's an order of what do you call them? Soldiers, workers? I don't know.
Holy warriors.
Holy warriors. Of Silhana called the Winged One. Winged? How do you pronounce
The
that?
Broken Wings. Order of the Broken
that's
Wings.
the one. I was like the Winged Hussars. Nope, that's different. That is real.
Oh, that's the...
Order of the Broken Wings.
Yep.
Basically, it's a group of people who have done irreversibly horrible things, and they just devote their lives to Silhana. And I'm running out of memory slots.
At this point, give me a religion check with advantage at this point. Corvette.
Oh, Corvette.
Come on, dice. 14.
Yeah. So, now that it's been brought to you, rolled with advantage, right?
Yeah, sadly.
Okay. Now it's been brought back to your memory, it's a little easier to remember. The Order of the Broken Wings is a splinter group from the Winged Ones, which is the primary paladin order of the church. The Order of the Broken Wings, however, is made up of people who either broke their covenants as a Winged One, or sometimes, people who have received the death sentence, but rather than forfeiting their life in this life, instead they forfeit their life in the next. They forfeit, instead of forfeiting their life here and then moving on to the next life, they forfeit the rest of their life here and in the next life in servitude to the church by taking an oath, and a very strict oath. Like, there are things that they're not allowed to do, things they're not allowed to eat, things they're not allowed to drink. They have to do certain rituals at certain times of the day. It's a very strict, and literally you devote your life to them. They do have a semblance of freedom that the Winged Ones don't necessarily do, because they are just supposed to go do, they're supposed to just go serve Silhana at that point. They do have like an order structure, but they are at the same time a little bit more free to act and do what they just want, unless there is a major crisis that needs to be averted, in which case they have to do something to help avert that crisis. But that is what the Order of the Broken Wings is.
Oh.
And it has been, like I said, it has been known to, in lieu of the death penalty, someone be forced into that order.
that is an idea. Piotr, how do you feel about that? I didn't know you knew what the order was of the Broken Wings. I'd forgotten.
Read about it on the internet.
Nice. Google?
Yeah.
Ask that
it was
creepy
actually
librarian
Ask
when we were there.
Jeeves. It was actually Ask Jeeves.
So,
Um,
I mean, that's an option. We could push for that. In the worst case scenario, if it's down to the execution, we could push to that, but is that something you'd be comfortable doing?
I mean, I don't want to die. And
Okay, then.
on some level, like, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any good options, do I?
As your advisor, or whoever I'm supposed to be, arbiter, I will say I have very limited support right now of getting you set free, so are you, if this is, you don't want to die, I would love to work towards this as an option.
Let's do it.
You okay with that?
Yeah. I guess I've got a few days to think about it, but that's
fair.
kind of where
That's-
I've been leaning.
Okay. Well, now that that's an idea, I will start thinking and trying to research more about it. Galina's read a
Appreciate
lot
it.
of books, so I'll go talk to her some more. Is there anything else I can do or get you?
I don't think there's much that I need that they'd let you bring in here.
I mean, I don't know.
And I can't think of anything specific.
Okay. Well, if you do, just let me know. Let
Maybe
the guards
softer
know.
bread.
Softer bread. I'll work on that. So
Thanks.
I stand up and I reach. Are the bars like spaced out enough that I can reach through?
Yeah, you can't slip through, but you can definitely reach through them.
I reach through and just kind of put my hand on Piotr's shoulder, give it a squeeze, saying, "I'm so sorry, but I want you to know I know you're a good person. And thanks for
friend.
being my friend."
Thanks, friend. Means a lot.
Yeah. I'll come see you tomorrow or in a bit. Check on you again.
Cool. See you around.
I look over at the guy is he still cowering? Like, what?
Oh yeah,
What's
he's still
this?
cowering. His eyes are shut. He has not looked up since you got there.
Did you hear any of that?
Nope, didn't hear nothing. Nope, no plan on not broken wings, winged ones, nothing like that.
As long as, again, those things, you forget them, I think you should keep your soul today.
Yep, forgetting. Nope, not gonna tell the guards nothing. Not gonna tell the guards about the potion he's got either.
Wait,
I look
he
over
saw
at
me. He
Piotr.
saw above my sleight of hand check.
He saw above Ian's sleight of hand check.
Ah.
Like, I look at Piotr just like... It's like, alright. Like, yeah, that'd be smart. That'll keep your soul in...
So,
in,
like my
your
soul in my body. Yep.
today. Yep. Alright, see you later.
Nope, not gonna see you later. Nope.
And I head on out.
Ryland for president.
Ryland, just so you know, he'll probably be back.
Nope. If he comes back, I will not be looking at him. It's your turn.
Oh, what? Piotr picks up a few rocks and throws one of the rocks at the other rocks.
Now you're getting the hang of it. All right. So the journey to Vinhelm takes you about a week. If you look on the map that's on screen, you can see Estrava's where you were, Vinhelm's where you're going. That'll take you about a week to get there in the open ocean. Nothing overly crazy happens during that time. It remains pretty foggy throughout the entire journey. But is there anything specific that anyone wants to do while we are while in the journey, or?
Lena would visit him once, and after she left, it would be so much cleaner because while she's standing there talking, she'll use prestidigitation just to start cleaning in there 1 square foot at a time, and it will smell like lemons for quite a while after she's left.
There you go.
She also does it after breakfast, so she brings him some bacon and shares some with Rylan.
There you go. Rylan is very appreciative. He looks at you and is like, "You're a lot nicer than that other elf lady. And you don't have a tail. And your teeth aren't spiky. Your eyes are normal."
Spiky, that's the word.
Did they hit you on the head when they brought you in here?
Probably.
Oh.
I'm also pretty certain that my mother dropped me on my head when I was young, but at least that's what my dad told me.
I see. Well, got to be going. They only give me 5 minutes.
Well, I give the demon, as much time as he wants. Sometimes he's in here for like half an hour, and my eyes are closed the entire time. You know how hard it is to keep your eyes closed for half an hour when you're awake? It's not easy.
Have you tried just covering your eyes with your hands?
Want me to keep my hands up here for half an hour? My arms get tired. Tried that once.
What if you're laying down?
That's what I should do. I'll lay down, facing the ground.
Well, the ground is now cleaner. I wouldn't have suggested it before, though.
Well, we appreciate it. Definitely smells a lot better.
I like the smell of lemons.
Has this guy ever smelled lemons?
Probably not. He just knows it smells that good. He's like, lemons. Keep that in mind.
Gonna be this man's life goal if he ever gets out of jail to find a single lemon. That's the rest of his life.
Yep. Alright. Anything else anyone wants to do on the journey to Vinhelm, or are we all good?
I spend as much time as possible away from the side of the water, so I'm probably going to be doing a lot more of my needlepoint embroidery on my really terrible little cloak that I've had for months now.
Okay. Yep. Alright. In that case, we're gonna go head on to our break. Our mid-game break. We will be back in about 5 minutes, and we will pick up from where we left off. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and see you all in a bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. We are gonna, pick up where we left off. Corvette, you said you had something that you wanted to do. What is that?
So after working on some kind of defense and being stressed for all days, gonna go with my papers, find where Jelania is, and just I don't know if she's probably in her room still, avoiding everyone, or at least the water. So knock on the door. Is Jelania? You there?
Yeah.
Can
That's
I
what I
come
do.
in?
Yes. Okay.
Alright. Go in.
There's just the cloak all over my lap, pools of thread everywhere.
Oh, that's a project you're working on.
Yeah. I haven't had a lot of time to work on it for a long time, so
Yeah,
we're here and there's nothing else to do. So
true. It's not much. Well, it looks nice. It's very fashionable. It just looks nice.
there's
So.
just like random animals and like plants, lots of leaves and like feather iconography just like all over the place. It's not really organized in any nice creative way. It's just a canvas that's getting filled with whatever, almost like embroidery doodling.
Beautiful chaos. Love it. So,
Thank you.
I am dressing out like crazy, trying to figure out what the heck laws and stuff, and I'm just sick of working on this alone by myself. Can I just work in here with you? I won't be a distraction.
Maybe, but it's not like what I'm doing is incredibly urgent.
Well, if you don't mind, I pull over if there's a stool or a chair, just something so I can sit down and just...
I'm probably sat on the floor.
I was like, there's a stool. It looks cleaner than the last one you sat on. You never got the paper off of it.
I didn't try to get the paper off the last one. That's the thing. I'll go ahead and just sit on the ground and use the stool as like a little desk for the papers, just rifling through and writing whatever thoughts come to my mind. And after working on that for a little bit, be like, so, we good?
Yes?
How... I kissed you.
You did.
Yeah. And
And then I kissed you.
yeah. Yeah, you did. And I just kind of did it. So,
Do you regret it?
no, not at all. Just I didn't realize. I don't know. I kind of just did it, and now it's like taking in what that meant to me. And yeah, it was. No, I don't regret it at all. Very, very happy. So, do you regret it?
No.
Okay.
I
And
don't.
this is why I was never married off.
Why? What?
I don't know how to talk to someone I like very easily, apparently.
Uh, um. Well, I mean, you never had trouble talking to me before. You didn't like me then. Okay.
No, Oh, we're a bunch of just awkward people who like each other. Oh, this is great and awful and
Are
it's
you
amazing.
calling me awkward?
No, I'm the awkward. I like you.
Uh-huh. I
a
thought
lot.
maybe
Oh.
you did.
I mean,
You don't strike me as the kind to kiss someone just because you feel like it.
no, you're right. I don't.
Otherwise, I probably would have seen you do that. Just, you know. So I didn't think it was something you just did
Probably.
for fun.
Yeah, no. So, I don't know. I guess I'm just getting used to the fact that we kissed and getting kind of just used to that fact. So,
Uh-huh.
glad it was enjoyable for you. And I'm gonna go back and work on my paperwork now.
Did you... So... Hang on.
No, I didn't leave your room. I'm just focusing back on the paperwork.
Oh yeah, you turn your attention away and just... So, Okay, so all you wanted to do, make sure we're all okay. I don't hate you because you kissed me. That's all
Good.
you needed. Okay, no, it's fine.
Thanks. And thanks for letting me in.
Yeah,
So,
you're welcome. I always enjoy when you're around, so I don't usually want to kick you out or close the door.
well, that's good to know. Try to keep it that way. Alright, I need a break. Is there any books that you happen to have?
I already gave you the only book that I had.
The only book? Alright.
It's the only
go
book
back-
I had.
I'll go back to my room, grab that, bring it back, and just start reading, because I need a break from all the study.
The happy book. It's a sad book.
Why is everything so oh well, it's all I got. Like you said, trying not to be bored. Everyone's trying not to be bored on this ship.
Mm-mm.
So. And I'll just be hanging out next to Jelania, reading a book while she's doing her arts and crafts.
Occasionally, like out of the corner of my eye, just looking over, a little confused, very like uncertain, and just like, all right, I'm gonna try not to be weird.
All right. Okay. So, the remainder of the trip and journey passes without much other incident, and you find yourselves in the city of Vinhelm. Vinhelm is the trading capital of the Empire. Vinhelm sits along the coast and such has access to all the other nations in the world. It's not so far south like the Southern Isles are that's just difficult to get there. It's not so far back into, where Ostrava is that, it's difficult, so while Ostrava does see some trade, Vinhelm is where most of the trade with, outside of the Empire takes place. And as such, it's a city twice the size of Ostrava. Its population is twice the size. Its, building density is much more dense. And you guys pull in you thought there were a lot of ships in Ostrava's docks. They were, only a fraction of the number of ships you see here. In fact, you can't even, pull up into the, most ships can't even pull into the docks themselves. Most ships are moored out, several hundred, yards away from the docks. People are then expected to get into rowboats and row to the rest of the docks. The only ships allowed into the docks are royal ships, so your ship would be considered part of the regional ships, and then also the like ships that specifically need to unload cargo, large amounts of cargo. So you all get in the so you all pull up into the special place for the prison ship and are unloaded. The three free people are told that they need to go find an inn and be there. They are recommended a few of the local inns and informed that a herald will come find you when it's time for the trial, which they expect to happen the next day. Piotr, you are taken straight to the castle. As you get further into Vinhelm towards the castle, unlike Ostrava, where Ostrava clearly has the beautification and the decoration of Ostrava was clearly an afterthought after functionality and defensibility. The Vinhelm, while yes defensible, was built in such a way that it was attractive while also being defensible. As you get further into the city, the outskirts of the city are ugly. Slums, things like that, because there's just so many people. But the further you get inside, this is where the city gets significantly prettier, clearly built with not only defense but but with being pretty to look at in mind. And you are taken to the castle, and that's where your chance to see beauty ends, because you're taken straight down to the dungeons and thrown into another cell. So the rest of you, go find an inn. It will cost you 5 gold pieces to stay at one of these inns.
Is this 5 total or
5
5
total.
per person?
5 total.
I reach into my pockets and be like, I've got 1 gold piece on me. So,
party gold.
Yes.
I mean, Piotr had your party gold. It's all been confiscated. Oh yeah, that's right. He gave you the bag of holding. That's not.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you should have 142 gold pieces.
Do you have a list of everything in the bag of holding that you can just say?
Yes. Let me find that.
Have you found it actually?
Maybe not.
Well, we'll be paying with that gold.
Okay. Right. It is a room that the 3 of you have to share. If you don't all get your own private room. So, and there's actually a 4th person in there that you don't know. He's just you walk in and you see this dwarf just laying on the bed on his side.
Is there only one bed?
There what?
Oh, is there just one big bed for all 4 of us?
No, there's 3. There are 4 beds, but you all have to share a room.
Nice.
Alright. Piotr, we're gonna come to you real quick in the dungeons. You're fairly certain, based upon what time you got in, that it's getting close to night time. And you know there are a few other prisoners here. In fact, Rylan is here, and he's in the cell across from you. And you're just kind of sitting there in the night. You're having a difficult time sleeping. It's not that it's not dreams or anything. It's just sleep. Instead of just a straw, you kind of have a straw mattress. You now have this cot that you're trying to sleep on. It's not very comfortable, and you're just kind of sitting there trying to sleep, and you suddenly feel very, very cold. I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Well, it sucked, so don't you worry. 9.
You are completely and utterly terrified.
Nice.
You don't know what of, but you just have a sense that there's this presence about. And it is just, scaring the crap out of you. And as you are looking around, you see this, you see a misty shape begin moving through the hall of the corridor of the cells. You watch as the misty shape flits from cell to cell before settling at the cell across from you where Rylan is. You watch as the misty shape passes through the bars of the cell and into it. And you can hear Rylan snoring from where you're at. And his snoring is interrupted, and you hear him say, "Let's go. No! No! Leave me alone! Leave me alone! No!" And these horrific, bloody screams. You're terrified. You can't do anything right now. These horrific, bloody screams start coming from his cell. and you are unable to sleep for the rest of the night. So you're actually going to have a point of exhaustion going into tomorrow. So, but when day, when you eventually assume that day comes, because the guards come down with their meals, they stop at Ryland's cell, and they just kind of shake their head and go, "Another one. It's the 5th this week." And
Do you know?
you look over to see what happened, and you see that Ryland, well, you assume it's Ryland because all the flesh on his body has been torn off, and you can just see the muscle, bones, and sinews underneath.
These guards are incredibly nonchalant about something so horrific. Oh my god.
Wow. Again, dang it. Now we gotta
Yeah.
clean this up.
I just got my mop cleaned. Dang.
Do you know what happened?
The guards look over at you. No, it's none of your business.
I mean, well, I witnessed it.
You did.
Wait, did I?
I mean, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
described last night. It was too dark for you to actually see his flesh getting ripped off, but you did see at least something. So the guards look at you and say, "Tell us what happened then if you saw it."
Oh, now it's okay. Yeah, now it's my business. Okay. And then so I mean, to be honest, I didn't see much. There was just a dark figure that came, and in the morning we found him like that.
A dark figure came in the morning.
It was pretty dark last night.
So very helpful.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't see much more than that, unfortunately.
You've just described what any other prisoner who's been down here when it happens at the time and survived has told us.
This has happened before?
Assuming you heard her conversation. It's the 5th prisoner this week.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I did hear that. I didn't really process it. I don't, is there like a ward or something you can put up? Does anybody know what's going on?
I don't know what's going on. Priests and mages have been down here all week. Besides, they're prisoners. Not like, they're criminals and lowlives. It's not like anyone will miss them when they're gone.
Huh. Glad to see your commitment.
The way some of us guards see it. Whatever this thing is just doing us a favor.
Glad to see your commitment to the carriage of justice is unwavering.
You just count yourself lucky that you're not dead. Normally doesn't leave. It normally doesn't leave survivors.
I don't taste as nice.
They hand you some more bread and cheese. Here's the food. Eat it. Your trial
Thanks.
scheduled in a few hours. We'll be back for you. Alright. So the other 3 of you got a much more restful night's sleep. You did not see anything come tear the flesh off the dwarf in your room, so that's good. A herald does find you, informs you that the trial is to be held at noon up at the castle. That gives you, about 5-6 hours before you have to do anything.
Guys, can I tell you something? And I wait till the herald leaves.
Is the dwarf still in here?
Oh, dwarf's gone at this point.
I have no idea what I'm really doing here. I'm just trying to plead on people's good faith.
Plead what?
Just not execute Piotr. That's my goal. We have a plan, kind of, for something else. And I kind of explained the Order of the Broken Wings to them.
So he doesn't want to die after all.
When we talked, he said he wanted to try this. Try to go for that and not die. He doesn't want to die. But
How likely is it, do you think, that they will go for that?
I don't know, actually. Patrick, I don't know.
You don't know.
Like, okay.
You don't know how likely they are going to go for it. It's not a very
know.
common thing that happens.
How easy is it to join this group?
Not easy at all. Like, you literally have to either be a member of the Winged Ones and break your oath, and not just be straight kicked out and like show that you're repentant enough that they think that this is a viable option for you. Or usually it's people, like, the Arbiter has argued that they are useful enough that the church doesn't want them dead. And that they're useful enough to the church that the church would rather have them in servitude to the Order rather than servitude to, rather than die, rather than have them dead. Because someone who joins this order, a winged one, when they die, their service is up. They get to enjoy life in heaven or wherever they end up if they were secretly evil. A broken member of the Order of the Broken Wings has to serve Silhana forever, even in death. And so it's not this is an eternal oath, not just an oath in this lifetime. So it's not easy to get into, and not easy to obviously convince someone to do this instead of the death sentence. So.
I feel like it will be more likely that they will accept this option if it's seen available. If we can convince someone to accept him, and not just going to toss him out on the streets with the hope that maybe he will join this incredibly difficult to join club.
Would they?
Do they have a headquarters? Do we need to go talk to someone?
If they had a headquarters, it was probably in Ostrava.
Give me a religion check.
Four.
Okay, does anyone else want to give me a religion check?
Oh, yeah. I am rolling
That didn't work.
awful tonight. 7.
Wow.
Still better than mine.
Okay, maybe I will roll. I'm like, since I asked the question, I probably shouldn't, but oh my gosh. 12.
Yeah. You're not certain about specific locations for the Order of the Broken Wing. However, you are aware that the major knightly orders, and paladin orders generally have a chapter house in every major city, usually not too far from the church or even within the local cathedral. So it is possible that the Order of the Broken Wing would have a chapter house here. Not guaranteed, but it is possible.
So, Jelana, you're saying we should probably talk to them first?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that they'll bring him in. That's a good idea. So, let's
Also,
go. Yeah?
have a question. So in order to convince them to take him in, you need to convince them that he's more useful alive than dead, right?
Yes, I think so.
Are you gonna bring up the fact that we're descendants of Morpheus trying to save the world? Because I'm not sure how many people I want to know that about me.
Avoid that
I was
fact
gonna
as much as
leave
possible.
that part out.
Hang
I
on,
was gonna
correct
talk
my
about-
memory. I feel like people already know this.
Hmm?
Weren't there people in Ostrava who were saying that?
There
about us?
were
Arkady.
Arkady knew, but Arkady knew because he was the chosen of Silhana, and it was revealed to him. But he wasn't going and making it public knowledge.
Gotcha.
And Corvette never told us that Arkady knows either.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, we're going to avoid that fact as much as possible because
Yes.
who even cares, really? So if they care, let's not inform them.
Yes.
We'll just
And I
wax
was just
poetic
planning on-
about how amazing he is, how bad he feels. He's so sorry. He's
I was-
very good at all his magic. Knows exactly what to do all the time. Wants to save all the children and babies.
All of that, and then just explain the things he's done while we've been with him. Cordovan, Norgarn, the village before Norgarn, all of that stuff. See, so that they know what he can do. And the good that he has done since his incident.
Indiscretion.
Good plan. As long as we're not walking around telling people we're descendants of Morpheus, I'm in on this plan. Let's go.
I'm sure that Corvette can also somewhat vouch and have his words have weight as a dragon-touched nobleman
Yes.
with the future emperor.
Yeah, after some people will care about that. The the Boyar Vinhelm, he doesn't particularly like my family much these days after all the events that happened in Ostrava. So
Hopefully the
I know that.
holy leader of these broken wing people will be okay.
Hopefully. So
Alright.
I think we're ready to go.
Yep, so you're gonna go start off by trying to find him. Trying to see if there is a chapter house.
Yes.
Alright, so you make your way to the local cathedral. You enter inside and you question the local, what are the priests, if there's a chapter house to the Order of the Broken Wing, and he informs you that there is, in fact, a chapter house to the Order of the Broken Wing, and he shows you to it. You enter inside. It's probably the, meagerest chapter house that you've ever, imagined and even, pictured. Even more meager than, than you would figure. You enter in and you see that it's really kind of just one room with some bunk beds lined along the walls, and in the center is a table where a man is sitting. He's wearing a black tabard with a on it is a gray is a gray symbol of its two wings, but the wings are very frayed, broken. He looks up as you approach and he says, "Can I help you?"
Excuse me. Yes, we have a friend who's in need and wants to see if it's an option for him to join the Order of the Broken Wings.
Did I hear that right? Your friend wants to join us willingly?
Is that
Yes.
someone heard of?
If you're here, you most certainly know our history. That we are the Forsaken of the Paladins of Silhana. Here to serve as penance for crimes that we committed or oaths that we broke. No one has ever joined us willingly.
Well,
It's not like children grow up reading stories of the Order of the Broken Wing and they're like, I want to be a Knight of the Broken Wing. It's not like it's not like our heroics, our publicized because our heroics are just intended to be another step in our repentance.
Well, our friend has need of penance and repentance.
Now that seems more like it. You must be an arbiter for a case, I'm assuming.
Yes, I am.
And we get you at least one of you, once a month. Think that they can come in and plead that a petty criminal who has stolen some bread or something can find their place here, instead of serving jail time or paying a fine. Every once in a while, we get people who who commit murders to their arbiters trying to get them out of the death sentence. What do you fall under?
I fall under that second one. And I would assume you would need to want him or something.
Quite precisely.
We're not entirely sure the whole process of how this works, so wanted to ask you.
Of course.
And I imagine part of the wanting is he would need to be of value, need to help, be able to add. Let me relate all these things.
It's part of my oath as chapter master, is that I am supposed to listen to any who come to plead their case. Not make any promises. I will gladly listen to what you have to say.
For you then, what would you say is the defining ingredients, I guess?
One who truly desires to either change their life, or one who feels that they are so far gone that the only way to fix themselves is to lose their life forever. Someone who joins our order not only serves Silhana in this life, but will serve Silhana in the next life. And whatever her saints would have us do. Eternal war that is being fought against evil and darkness. So I would also hope that, someone who seeks to join our order has something to add to our order. Be it knowledge, wisdom, combat prowess. Tell me, what is your friend's name?
Piotr.
Piotr. And what has your friend done to earn him the death penalty?
Is there, just so I know, in this world, is there like client
Attorney
lawyer
privilege?
attorney stuff?
No.
Just wondering, like, is that like a thing?
Not a concept that's been thought of yet.
Okay, so I'm not like doing something detrimental
You're not
to the
breaking
law.
the law.
No, definitely not.
All right, cool. I'll explain. I'll tell you his mistake, and I'll tell you what he's been doing since, and I'll let you wait.
Proceed then.
And so I tell him what he did. He murdered someone. Tell him some of the details of that. And then I tell him everything that he has done in helping others since.
I want to hear you tell him what he has done since. I want to hear Corvette try to plead this case to this chapter master.
Hey, I'm gonna probably plead the same type of case to whoever, to the court and all, the judge. So, oh boy. Piotr. He has actually one more question before I continue. For Piotr, actually, how much of what you went through and kind of your dreams and your stresses did you tell me while we were like talking together on the ship?
Then specifically,
Yeah.
I imagine it would come up, and I'm sure it would have come up in the past as well. At least from time to time.
I'm just trying not to metagame here, so.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I'm sure you would have at least a fairly decent understanding.
Okay. All right, sir. So, our friend Piotr, his mistake was pushing an innocent woman over a balcony, leading to her death. He murdered her.
It's a very serious crime.
Yes, it is. And as it should be, he should be executed.
So, you
But
think he should die?
I don't think he should die based on the law. That would be the justice part of it. And I do want justice. But I have seen what he has done. I've seen different events and the ways that he has helped people. He has protected Cordovan against Norse raiders. He has freed prisoners in, I forget that small village off the top of my head. That village between
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Cordovan and Norgard. He helped free those prisoners, again, from those armies up north that were slaughtering them. He was part of the defense of Norgarn, fighting off a dragon. And he helped take part in stopping the plot against the Archmatriarch, putting away the left and right hand. But more than that, I have seen him have his companions back. I have seen him always give hope and encouragement when things were hard and difficult. And he has always been by his companions' sides when they needed him. And so, for these things, these reasons, these actions that don't speak of someone who wishes ill intent on others, I ask for an opportunity for him to be able to serve and do good longer than just what he's done now, for his actions. Instead of death, let him give and serve. And then I wrap up and shut my mouth.
A very moving speech. If you were speaking to some peasants. I've known the worst of humanity. I've known the best. I will think on it. I'm making no promises that I will save your friend from his fate, accepting him into our order. If I make my decision, you will know. For now, I assume you have a trial that you need to head to.
Yep. Thanks for letting me at least practice.
You're very welcome.
Oh.
I wish you the best of luck, but it seems as if your friend's case is pretty cut and dry. Whatever fate Valhalla has in store for him.
You don't seem to enjoy your position. It seems your penance is forced on you and you do not enjoy it.
I have penance to give, my lady. Quite a bit. But
I do not ask what you have done.
oh,
or
I
what
have no intent of
what you
telling you.
deserve. I only find it notable that you seem
We are the...
resentful of it.
I'm not allowed to eat apples. It's part of our oath. An apple shall never is never allowed to pass my lips again. or I will be eligible for execution. I break that oath. It is not a good life we lead. It is not a kind life we lead.
So why do you lead it?
Because what I've done needs to be paid for. And
So you wish to pay your penance out of shame and guilt, and you take no enjoyment in the recompense.
I didn't sign up for this to be happy, ma'am. Signed up for this to pay my debt.
Well, what I will say about Piotr is that everything he does, he brings joy to it.
Maybe he'll be able to find some joy here.
This path that he wants to walk in your order is one that would bring him relief and joy in being able to make up for what he has done.
Maybe this is not the place for him. There is no
Maybe.
joy in what we do.
Maybe you should find joy in what your eternity may be.
Maybe in the next life I'll find joy in serving my goddess, but in this life, I fight the hardest battles. We've been fighting those undead hordes for weeks now. It's our men sent first. We're nothing more but than cattle. We're nothing more than cannon fodder.
Would have thought with the teachings of the goddess of light and life and progression and acceptance and joy that you could find some solace in that.
There are some of my brethren who do. I'm not one of them. There are some of my brothers who are quite happy that they stayed for the execution. But for me, I would have been just as happy dying. I didn't ask to join the order. Patriarch decided that I was too useful to be dead. So I got put here. Like I said, very, very few people come seeking to join it. Most of us are forced in. I wish your friend the best of luck. I do know people who have found joy and happiness in this, but I'm not one of them.
Should I turn and go?
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. With that, he just looks back down and continues working on whatever he was working on before. Alright. With that,
Let it stick in the mud. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you said what you did back there about finding joy. A little surprising coming from you. How did it feel?
There are silver linings at best, so there's... And
Hey.
at least I can have apples.
Yeah, yes.
It seems like he's also trying to make other people miserable along with him. He'll go through the motions of the penance and stuff, but he is not really trying to bring anything back. He's not actually trying to resolve anything.
And I think Piotr is.
Yeah. He's too good for these people.
Yeah.
Bust him out of jail, I swear I will.
I mean,
you guys are ready for the trial?
nope.
Oh!
I'm not. You kidding me? Oh. I feel like Galena should be this. Arbiter. She has more fight back.
Okay.
But she'd also just be like, yeah, he deserves to die, so.
It's just moral calculus.
Hey,
Alright.
let's go to the trial.
So you make your way to the castle of Vinhelm and are taken into the are taken into the main into the the main hall. You see a sitting, it's very meager courtroom setup. Very very basic. There's a few chairs for people, for guests. There's two tables at the front, one where Piotr is already sitting, chained to the table and the floor, and then there's then there's the thrones up front. The boyar is sitting actually at the other table. He is rifling through some papers, and you guys come in, and the boyar looks up. Surprised you showed.
I mean, you kind of said we had to.
I mean, I would not blame you if you decided to leave your friend to his fate. It's all but done, said and done.
I mean, Silhana might have something else in store for him.
Perhaps. But I have death in mind. The executioner's been sharpening his axe all morning. No one murders. No one murders those close to my family and gets away with it.
I don't say anything.
That moment, the door opens again, and in walks a figure. He's wearing a white and gold robe, tall, pontificate-esque, hat. And it's much more opulent, this robe, than any patriarch you've seen before, or even the archmatriarch's robe. Clearly, this guy is attempting to compensate for something. The patriarch of Vinhelm is considered the politically weakest patriarch, because he doesn't have a lot of authority, actually, beyond Vinhelm inside the Empire. The patriarch of Vinhelm's duties have always been to proselyte to the rest of the world, and that's very, very, met with mixed success. The last time a patriarch of Vinhelm had a lot of success, you got a lot of land from Norsay, but that was it. And so, again, he doesn't have, not a lot necessary, he doesn't have a lot of success, and he's clearly compensating for that. And he approaches, as he goes, you watch as he approaches the Boyar Ilarion, and he smiles and says, "Ilarion, my old friend, it's good to see you." And you watch as they hug each other.
Corvette just puts his head in his hand. He's like, "Oh, didn't see that one coming."
And the boyar then approaches, not the boyar, the patriarch then approaches you. Corvette Peshek, I presume. I have heard of you.
Yes, I am he. Thank you for your time.
Well, certainly. It's not very often that I get to sit over these proceedings. Normally I have one of my, bishops do it for me, but the boyar was very insistent that I come today because, it's such an important case that none other than the patriarch himself should preside over it.
Well, I'm certainly honored you're here.
Of course. This is the accused, and he points at Jelania.
No. She's completely innocent, actually. Has nothing to do with the incident. This is Piotr. Is Piotr here in the room?
Yes, Piotr's, he's there, and you're up with him at this point.
This is Piotr.
Oh, of course, I should have seen. You're a woman, he's a man, I should have seen that, of course.
No,
You're the accused.
DM, can I really quickly cast Detect Thoughts on this guy and just kind of see, what his current vibe is? Is this a cut and dry thing for him?
Yep.
Is this already over?
Mm-hmm. Go for it. Yeah. He is very flattered that he doesn't normally get asked to do this, so he's very flattered that the boyar asked him to do it. And as such, he's kind of viewing it as his opportunity to flex his muscles a bit and prove that he is, that his position has power and authority, and sentencing someone to death would do that. Would, make him look legitimate in his eyes. So, yeah, it's pretty cut and dry in his eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. Awesome.
The patriarch reaches out to shake your hand, Piotr. I'm terribly sorry, my dear boy, that sin has found a way to creep into your heart. That you must now suffer the consequences. Because sin has found its way into you.
Thank you for your kind words.
I'm gonna murder the sin out of you.
Yes.
Yeah,
of course.
It out.
Now,
Oh, and this is Galena, a very respected mage.
she's so respected. I've never heard of her. And I'm one of the most important. I'm the patriarch of Vinhelm.
That's why I wanted to introduce her to you, so that you guys, you can acquaintances.
I see. I understand. Lady Galena, I welcome you to Vinhelm as the patriarch. Please, if there's anything that we can do to be of service, let us know.
Of course.
He just kind of sits there awkwardly, like nodding his head, looking at you guys.
I'm sure this will be a very momentous case.
Oh, certainly.
Different than many others that maybe you have officiated over.
I mean, considering that this is the third case I've ever officiated in my 15 years as patriarch.
Wow. That is lucky number 3, us.
That's the first time I've ever officiated over a murder.
Mm-hmm.
What were the others?
Banditry. There was supposed to be another case, but the man was found dead this morning. So.
Dead? That's...
Doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while a prisoner dies in the dungeons. Usually they take their own lives to avoid their sentencing. That happened a few times.
Before or after the trial?
Usually before. Particularly when they sense that there's no hope. He motions. I'm quite surprised that your friend Piotr did not do it himself.
No, he is very, he wishes to confront the things that he has done. He is very responsible, immature about these sorts of things. Essentially turned himself in.
I did hear that. He did turn himself in, yes. The boyar did inform me of that. That'll be quite interesting, I think. But I should go take my seat, and we should get this going.
Wait, meta interjection. Did Piotr have a chance to turn himself in? I thought what's-his-face found him before.
I mean, he did, and then instead of running, you decided to go.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So.
It was a mutual arrest.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, look at you, hey, man, hey.
Alright. So. He heads up to his seat, and he then claps. The boyar puts his head in his hand. You don't have to clap to get it started. We've talked about this. I'm sorry, I just need to get everyone's attention. I now bring these proceedings to order. In the case of the boyar Vinhelm versus Piotr Ivanov, I am Patriarch Pavel Nikolaev Isakov. I apologize. Piotr Isakov. I am Patriarch Pavel Nikolaev, and I will be overseeing these proceedings. We will start by hearing the boyar's case as to why he should, boyar's case and what he would propose as the punishment, and then we will hear from the defense arbiter, Piotr Pishek. Boyar, please.
Cool.
Boyar
Are
approaches.
you butchering names on purpose?
Yes. Boyar approaches up front, and he looks. Great patriarch, the wisdom and guidance that you provide over the spiritual needs of this of the land of Vinhelm are quite important, and we are grateful for the wisdom and guidance that you've provided to the church, to us in place of Lady Silhana for the past 15 years. Before us sits a murderer. In the night in question, 4 months ago, Pyotr Isakov went out with my son's fiancée, a woman named Katya. They went drinking under the guise of co-workers. But Pyotr Isakov had darker intentions. See, initially, it is my belief, and the belief of my my son, that Pyotr sought to woo his woman away from him and take her for his own. That is why they were at the bar. It's why he insisted on having them get drunk so he could take advantage of her in a hindered state.
Objection, Your Honor? Can I do that here?
Sure, go for it.
The accuser is not stating facts, he's stating intent, which he's not there for, therefore he does not know the intent. Just state the facts, please.
I must intent in order to prove that murder was on his mind, I must state the intent in order to be able to prove that, that why he ultimately would commit the murder.
Do you know his thoughts? Can you read thoughts?
Why else does a man take a woman to drink? Paycheck sits there for a moment. I'll allow it.
Wait, allow it for him or me?
Him. He keeps going. They retired to his room, in the room that he had rented at the inn. That the innkeeper was so kind to inform us that they were both quite drunk, and he was fairly certain that they had amorous intent. They did retire to the room, but when Katya refused his advances, in a fit of rage, Pyotr did shove her and throw her off the balcony. For Katya was a pious woman and would never, even in her most inebriated states, would never even think of dishonoring her vows of her betrothal. And so Pyotr, filled with fury, pushed her off that balcony, and she landed with a crack, to be discovered the next morning by the innkeeper himself. And where was Pyotr? He had fled the city. Is this not, in and of itself, proof of that Pyotr was aware of the crime that he committed and had no intent of standing trial? He fled and was gone for months and months and months until he should resurface in Norgon, of all places. And then find his way down to Ostrava, where I did find him. I rest my case, Your Honor. Boyar goes and sits back down. Boyar looks absolutely riveted. Just like, fascinating, yes. And he's just kind of sitting there for a second. Oh, yes, Mr. Lord Pashek. It's your turn. This is the biggest farce of a trial you've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't say he's. Who saw him enraged? Like, that's my question. Who was in the room? And all this stuff. So, Your Honor, can I call the defendant to state what happened that night? And
Certainly.
then I will state.
I'm very curious to hear it from his perspective, in fact.
Piotr?
Okay. Well, this is, first off, I would like to state unequivocally that what happened that night is not only regrettable, but a deep and profound sin for which I may not ever be able to fully why am I forgetting words?
Fully pay for him? Fully.
I guess that works. Anyway. That said, I think a straightening of the record is in order. Katya and I were co-workers.
What's a co-worker?
Oh, crap.
Just kidding. Go, sorry. Couldn't help it.
A co-worker. Katya and I worked closely together in our duties as why am I forgetting that word?
Ambassadors.
Diplomat?
As diplomats working for the Boyar Vinhelm. And we had a friendly relationship. Unfortunately, as happens on occasion when alcohol is haphazardly imbibed and you happen to be a lightweight anyway, and stuff. Anyway, in the course of an argument, I did push. Wait, Patrick, do you remember Katya's last name?
I can look it up real quick. Give me a second.
Yeah. Anyway, I did shove Katya off the balcony.
Katya Alexiev.
Anyway. I take full responsibility for my actions. However, I do object to the mischaracterization of my intent.
May I ask you a question?
As well as Katya's intent.
Yes.
What was the argument about, if it was not amorous in nature?
Good question. DM, do you recall? I don't know if I ever... I can't remember if we had specifically decided that, but I can ad-lib.
No, we never specifically decided, and you have been pretty tight-lipped about it, so...
It's... We were both drunk. I don't remember the specific details. There was tension between us. We were...
Romantic
co-workers.
tension.
No.
Romance makes everything better.
Yeah, somebody when I was... Never mind. I was about to meta speak again. No, not romantic. We were co-workers, yes, which is a word for people who work together, your magistrate. There was always tension between us. We were rivals in a sense. We had similar experience levels.
So,
sometimes we rubbed each other the wrong way.
Could it be argued that you were attempting to get rid of her for gain?
Not that night. No. It wasn't.
Not that night.
No.
Officer, would you like to perhaps take over for your Your witness.
Sure.
You're a defendant.
I'll take. Oh. What my client had meant to say.
Anything you say can and will be.
Hey, that's not. We didn't say that at the beginning.
Oh, it's
Okay,
implied.
Miranda rights were read. Okay, we throw the whole
Alright.
case out. There's no warrant for it.
All right. It's like what
This
my
is great.
client meant. Let me share with you the other accomplishments my client has done and performed that you might have a taste of his character more, and perhaps know that that night was, again, a mistake. As my client has stated, he is taking full responsibility, but it is not his character and not something intended. And I actually want to ask Piotr what he did before, and I want to relate how, because he's shared before how he helped make cities safe and trade routes safe and protected against banditry and pirateering, I believe.
I worked to build coalitions to that end, yes.
So you work to create harmony and peace.
Yes.
Wonderful. And since then, since the event that night, I want to again relay the actions that he's been a part of in defending against Cordovan and helping improve those defenses there, in saving the village prisoners and putting his life in danger there, defending Norgarden against monsters, and then protecting the Archmatriarch. And so these actions, while that night was truly a tragedy, these actions showed the character of Piotr is completely different. And so I put forth that the character of Piotr is someone who is valuable, who is honorable. And what happened that night was a tragedy, was a mistake, was an accident. And that is what I have to say, Your Honor.
I need some time to deliberate, come to a conclusion. I will retire to yonder room. When I return, you'll have my decision. Unless there's anything else that wishes to be said about the defendant before I do so. In that case, I shall retire and return shortly. Stands up and he walks pompously over towards the room and with a great, exaggeration opens the door and walks inside.
He's going to do it all here and knows what he wants to do.
Yeah, what?
He's not going to deliberate at all. He already knows how he feels. He just wants to make everyone sit and wait on him about it.
Oh. Yeah, I misjudged the relationship between them.
It's not like the goal was to prove his innocence. It was to change the sentencing. Right?
Yeah. And I was waiting for him to say he was supposed to be put to death, and I was like, okay, that's when I'll say, hey, no, that's the Order of the Broken Wings. It never came up. So, did I just make a mistake?
We might need to force the subject when he's there. Unless we want to go in there and break his deliberations.
I think he would be angry if we did that.
I feel like it would not be very difficult to convince him to do that because, changing a verdict from execution to this holy and very cool order that only the Patriarch gets to do anything about. Seems very much his style.
True.
Deciding to kill someone is not special. Piotr already did that.
You're good. You should be the one doing this.
The eyes put people off. People like your eyes, they don't like mine.
It's also tail.
And the teeth and the skin and all of it. Even the accent sometimes is something people like. So just take those things and you say them in the pretty voice and the pretty face and everything that you have, and it will work out better, I'm sure.
It's about half an hour passes before before the Patriarch decides to return. He sits down on the chair. I've come to a decision. It is clear that Piotr's life is forfeit, according to the laws of the church and the land. Price of a life for life. It's very commonplace. However, and Piotr does not deny the charges brought before him. He admits fully and readily that he is guilty of the actions that he performed that night, though his intent is different. Still would have been better if it was romantic. With that in mind, I do need to bear some other things in consideration. He holds out a letter. This is the letter that was sent to me by none other than the heir to the throne, Arkady Alkaev. Speaking to the character of Piotr and the help that he has provided and importance to our ruler's mission as a chosen of Silhana. There's also this. He holds out another letter. I've received this letter from Chapter Master Villenar before my arrival here. Pyotr Azikov, are you truly sorry and penitent for what you did?
If I could undo what I've done, I would.
But you can't undo what you did.
No.
But you would do anything to make it right. Is that the case?
Anything. Also, I have to interject out of character. Is that dude's last name really Villanov?
No, he's Villenar is his first name.
Oh, Villanar.
Yes.
It's his. Well, still. Anyway, I'll gab at you after session about that.
Now, under advisement of the character, that Lord Peshek and Tsarevich Arkady have brought before us, and the recommendation of Chapter Master Villenar, I do believe that, Piotr, your life is forfeit, but not quite in the manner that I'm sure the Boyar would like. It is with this recommendation that I do propose and approve that Pyotr Isakov forsake all that he is, all that he was, and take up service in the Order of the Broken Wings. That he, in this life and the next, may one day be able to repay the life that he took, and all the good that Lady Katya Alexieva would have been able to accomplish. No! You hear a shout come from the boyar. He must die for his crimes. I am sorry, boyar, the patriarch says, but I have made my decision. Lord Pachek,
Yes.
I would ask that you escort Mr. Isakov to the chapter house, that he may undergo the rituals and the oaths that he needs to become a member of the Order of the Broken Wing.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all welcome. And with that, these proceedings are adjourned. Boyar looks absolutely furious. And as you're walking out, he looks at you and he says, "I will get you. I will get you. You will not escape, even if I have to do it myself."
Careful, Boyar. We're in the presence of His Grace.
You won't be forever. The boyar turns and storms out of the room.
Sounded like intent, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Fortunately, we're kind of in his domain. So, let's get out of here.
Well, there is some sort of sacrifice happening here before long. From what I'm told, so it's not like we can just leave.
Gosh, you're right. But let's get out of the castle at least. When we get out to the castle outside, I want to stop Piotr. Like, how are you doing?
Good. Well, I mean, as good as I can be. I guess I don't really know fully what to expect, if that makes sense.
No apples. Ever.
You know, I'm not really sure. I feel like that role was targeted at a specific person or something. I don't really eat apples, so I think I'm gonna be okay with that. I had a friend named Patrick once who really liked apples.
It's not going to annoy you if I eat apples in front of you.
No, I think I'll be all right.
You sure?
No, I think I'll be all right.
Not even apple pie?
Yeah, I'll miss that.
So good with some cream on it when the apple pie is still warm.
Have you done that thing where you put a slice of cheese on the apple pie? Oh,
No.
makes you forget you live in
I
Norway.
haven't actually. Actually, low-key, that sounds delicious.
It's pretty good.
Something to miss before I've even tried it.
Piotr, are you okay with this? I mean, you're not dead, so I'm very happy with that. But is this what you want?
I mean,
We can always go back in and get the execution, you know.
I mean, we could if we really wanted to. So,
Apple pie with cheese or death? Huh?
I mean, I feel like either way, I'm probably not going to eat apple pie with cheese at this point.
Fair point.
fair. All right. And after just that conversation, I just give him a hug. Glad you're
Thanks,
still
Fred.
here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all works out.
Off to the.
I wonder if they can throw you out. You swear to yourself, you swear an oath to Silhana for this life and the next one. What if you don't do it?
What if you just eat the apple?
Yeah, what
You die.
happens
He
then?
told us what happens. You die.
What about
Oh, yeah.
after this life? What happens if you just don't do it? You're already dead. What happens?
That is a very deep philosophical question.
I feel
I
like
don't
you
know.
can the answer. You only do it until you die, and then you say, "Nah, I'm all right." And they go, "Oh, okay.
They torment your soul forever?
You're already dead."
What are they gonna do? Kill me?
I mean, there's the whole hell thing. Go to hell, At least, wait, like, sure, he's serving Solana, but at least he's, like, sort of in heaven.
Mm,
He just doesn't get to enjoy it like everyone else.
hell might be fun.
Oh, Shalanya might find out.
Oh.
I think that depends on which side of the torment you're on. The one being tormented or the one doing the tormenting.
Ooh.
Lena, I have a bad feeling that when we're all down
She's
there, you're
like,
going to be the one doing
I
the
wonder what I
tormenting.
can negotiate for myself.
It's like an internship.
All right.
Work for a century, and then you become a torturer. You move on up. You get promoted.
With Shalanya's apparent, I'm not Shalanya, Lena's apparent interest in whips revealed, that we are going to go on to get towards Villenar. So you approach the chapter, you go to the chapter house where you see Villenar. He's standing. He's sitting. He looks up at you. I see the patriarch decided to listen to me for once.
We're grateful for your input.
He looks at Piotr, who is still manacled, by the way, and goes,
Nice.
"All right, come over here. Take a seat. Have a conversation that we need to have before we actually fully do this thing."
Okay. Piotr sits down.
Now, there are a few things that you need to understand before you join the OR Order. There's going to be a long list of things you can't do. And I will provide you with that full list at some point. Shortly I have a paper. That's what I spend most of my day doing, is writing the lists for people who lose them. You will
Is that
also...
part of your penance?
No, it's part of my administrative duties as chapter master,
Oh, okay.
which is part of my penance, so I guess you could say yes. Now, another part of your penance is that you will be required to wear these. And he pulls up some, broken, wings. They're winged like the winged hussars, but they're broken. You'll have to wear this anytime you go out into battle or are in public. Just pretty much plan on wearing it unless you're in the chapter house or sleeping. The last thing is that members of the Order of the Broken Wing are not allowed to use arcane magic. As such, we will be performing the Ritual of Annulment and removing the ability to manipulate mana from your body and soul. It will be replaced by the ability to use divine magic so long as you maintain your oath.
Patrick, am I turning into a cleric?
We talked about this when we planned this out.
Oh, I think we did.
We
Okay,
did.
Yep. It's been. I feel like it's been like 4 or 5 months at this point.
It's been like 3, but... Now, is that something you can live with? Because if you can't, then I'm supposed to execute you here and now.
Oh, well, that's great to know. Caught between that realization and the other one, yes, I can deal with that.
Alright. Now, please kneel.
Okay, Piotr kneels.
He stands up and he's holding a he goes over to the fire and he pulls out a brand, and the brand has a symbol. It's not like, it's a brand, but it has like has a symbol on the end of it. And he says, "Remove your clothes, except your underwear for decency's sake."
All right.
So you take off your clothes and you're sitting before him and he looks at you. Now, so you understand the gravity of this. There's only one other order allowed to do the right ritual of annulment. That would be the Knights of Bronislav. Such, and the ritual annulment is normally saved for those mages who do not pass their trial at the end of their time. Sure, you remember your trial and the temptations that came with it.
I do.
Well, now you will never be tempted to do that again. Because if you break your oath, your magic will be taken away from you. And I will be required to hunt you down and kill you. Along with every other member of of our order. But you also, with this, will lose your last name. You will no longer be Pyotr Isakov. You will no longer have a family. Your family will now be the Order of the Broken Wing. You will simply be known as Pyotr the Broken One. As we all are. He then begins to speak some words in Draconic. And he then goes to stab you with the brand and stabs you right over your heart. And you feel the piercing, searing pain of the brand. And at the same time, you had never never realized it before, but it had been dampened with the manacles on you, but you completely feel the flow and energy of mana that allows you to utilize magic just shut down in your body, and it get replaced by this searing, inside you. The searing pain inside you and on your chest endures for a moment before it dies down. But you can't help but feel as if inside you there's always this, that there's this smoldering energy inside you that's causing you some mild pain and discomfort that you will feel from this point forward. As you no longer have access to your arcane magic, but you now use divine magic. But not in the same way that other divine magic users do. He pulls the brand back. Says, and with that, you no longer have access to your powers, your arcane powers. And you will find that the power of our goddess will flow through you, and she will guide you on what you need to do. And with that, you are now prepared to take the oath of the Broken Wing. Pyotr, Broken One, stand before me. Do you swear on your life that you will honor the oath of the Broken Wing?
I swear.
Do you swear in this life and the next that you will serve this goddess Silhana in bringing her light to the darkest of places, in fighting those who seek to douse the light of this world forever?
I swear.
And do you swear to protect the innocent, even to the laying down of your own life?
I swear.
Then, with that, Pyotr Broken One, do pronounce you a Knight of the Broken Wing. That's where we're going to end tonight's session. Alright, everybody. Thanks for coming. It's definitely been spicy. It's definitely been crazy. It's definitely been interesting. So, just to explain, because I do like to explain that, not necessarily taking away player agency. Ian and I have been planning this for quite some time, actually, where we discussed this. It's not like I looked at Ian and said, "You're no longer going to be a bard. Are you okay with that?" It didn't spring that on him right now. He's though he might have forgotten that we had the conversation.
I forgot, but
He's aware. He's aware that he was no longer going to be a bard. So next session he will come back the same level as everyone else, just a different, a holy class instead of an arcane class. But yeah, that's been in the works as long as the wedding was in the works, almost. So we will be back in 2 weeks. That would be the 27th of January. So be here for that to see what Piotr does with his new powers. Finding out about this new sacrifice, seeing if maybe the what all is going on here in Vinhelm. Just as a reminder, yes, I will remind for the next few weeks, is on the 24th of February, which would normally be a session. We will not have a session because I will be in Colorado at Genghis Con, which is Denver's tabletop and gaming convention that they have every year. I will be there, and I'll actually get to meet Sarah in person. I think that'll be cool. Yeah. So again, thanks for coming out. It's been a lot of fun. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.